D, wait for it, Lightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I'm a little late to the game on this one, just because this dropped on Thursday night. And then I was going to do it Thursday morning. Well, it dropped on like 3:00 my time on Thursday morning. And then I was going to do it Thursday during the day. But then I had some family stuff come up. My folks needed some help with something. So I couldn't do it then. And then Friday, stuff happened. And I didn't have time to do it, mostly because I was just hanging out with my kid, whatever. But so I was like, you know what, I've done every episode now, and I don't want to miss out on doing a breakdown of one episode at least. Pardon me. So I won't take up too much of your time. I just want to say though that I enjoy this show very much. I only have one concern about the show. Well, two concerns, but the second one's not too big of a deal. And my first concern is that they're trying to make Peacemaker into like a good guy. Now, the thing that I liked about him in Suicide Squad was that he wasn't a good guy, but he thought he was a good guy. And he was like a character that you liked, but you liked him because he was a douche. And this is starting to turn him into like a human being. And I'm all like, listen, don't get me wrong. I like, James Gunn is doing a very good job writing wise. I'm not saying that I don't like anything that he's doing here. I just don't want Peacemaker to be like this, like, I don't know, like kind of like a sympathetic person kind of thing. But at the same time, I don't hate it. The second thing is, I'm curious if the aliens are just kind of like Starro, well, they just take over a human host. And I'm all like, don't get me wrong, it's fine because I do like it, but I'm just like, an alien that takes over, that takes over, a human host to dominate the world. I'm like, it's kind of like Suicide Squad, just a different alien kind of thing. But again, I liked all of it, and I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, it just kind of seems, a little the same thing, But we'll see where it goes, because I'm interested in everything that's going on here. So since I'm done with that, I'm just going to break down this sucker and hopefully get through this really, really fast for you guys. But before I get started, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we always get shoved to the back of the line. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So again, let's get started on this breakdown. So it starts off, if you remember last episode, Adebayo she tripped and fell, and Myrn was standing there, and he's like, I'm not gonna hurt you, because I was like, oh no, I don't want her to die, but at the same time I'm like, if she does, because she found out he's got an alien inside his brain. She's like, what? And then Harcourt comes out and she's like, get my gun. And she's like, she knows. And she's like, yeah, she was wearing a Peacemaker's X-ray helmet. And she's all like, he doesn't like people messing with his helmet. And she's like, you knew, and everything. So one side, she's like, you knew. And she's like, well, she's like, he knows way too much about their biology and all this stuff about him. Like, how could he not be? And he's all like, I found, we came here from a dying planet. He tells them how they came from a dying planet to Earth. And then their Goth, was the queen. And she decided that they were going to dominate the world, like take it over and everything. And so that's the gist here. We're just going to go through this. And she says that the other guy knows, Diebeard knows, but he doesn't want to admit to it and everything. So we go over to Peacemaker. I can't remember what else they talk about. I'm sorry, you guys. It's been a couple of days since I've seen the episode. So they go to this school where Peacemaker has come in, because if you notice over here, that's the janitor, which she pops up later on. But his daughter is in this class. She's right here. And he brought him to school because he's a superhero. And they're asking him a bunch of questions, and he's calling them funny names. I don't remember what they were, but I laughed every time because I was like, that's so funny. And then this was where the joke came in about Wonder Woman. She's like, have you met Wonder Woman? He's like, no, but she was eye fucking me at a party one time or something like that. And then somebody asked about, I think, his family, or have you ever, I don't remember. And it's the flashback where he killed his brother, which is sad. I'm really sad that he killed his brother if that's what went down. So then this little girl says, "Do you know, so and so?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't seen her since high school." And she's like, "I think you might be my dad, my real dad." And he's like, "What?" And the teacher's like, "Okay, we're done." He's like, "Muscles or whatever." And then this guy's all like, "Yeah, fuck those other kids, because my daughter, I brought in a superhero and everything." And I was like, "That's funny." So then Augie is getting out of jail. He shouldn't. He should just be in jail. He's a horrible human being. And he's all like, "Oh," and he made like this racist joke here where he said, I don't want to repeat it because I don't like that kind of stuff. It's not nice." But then she made fun of his hair, which was funny. And then she says, it was something like "see you later" or "see ya," and he's like, "Wouldn't want to be ya." And she's like, "Why did you have to ruin it?" He's like, "Yeah, you're right, I did," kind of thing. And then this guy comes up, Captain Locke, and he's pissed because he told him to stay out of the way, kind of thing. And they're all like, "Hey, we got a judge with the warrant and everything, and you should have done the thing or whatever. You should have let him go and everything. Now we're gonna go get Peacemaker." She's like, "There's something wrong with that guy," and I'm curious as to what it was because he like stopped and everything. At first, I thought he was taken over by the butterflies, but he's not. Okay, so then he gets out of jail. And he's like, "What do you need?" And he's like, "First, I need a girl to come over and suck my dick, and the second thing I need is to kill my son." So then back at his trailer, he's talking to Eagly and Goff, and he feeds it. And then they're sitting here talking about how they need to find where there is a cow and where that yellow honey liquid stuff is coming from. And the cow is basically, that's where they're getting all of their food. And they're like, if we take out the cow, we take out the hive, like the butterflies will die. She gets a text from her wife. So they're sitting there and they're getting ready and everything. And they're going to go in and get Peacemaker. So the bug is in here and drawing with the honey stuff. I'm just going to call it honey. I know it's not honey. Just deal with me. And they see that it's a peace sign. So they're like, "You can communicate." So then everybody goes and they go to get him. Well, then Myrn gets a call from Captain Locke. And they're gonna go get, and so he can warn Peacemaker. So this in here, this part was really funny because he's like, "Tap once for yes, twice for no," and then, but what's his face? He's like, "What's your favorite color?" And he's like, "It's yes or no," and then he's like, "Is your favorite color teal?" And he's like, "Why would you start with teal?" And he's it was very funny. I liked it a lot. So then the cops show up and they get the call. Well, he calls him because Peacemaker's not answering the phone. He's like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Get out of there. The cops are there." So they go and they get up through the roof, which I thought it was fine. They should have just stayed on the roof because if you stay hidden the whole time, they're not going to go check up there. And so, and he tapes Goff to his back. He's like, "So I have both hands free." So they get up on the roof and everything's fine. The eagle flies out and she's all like, he's got an eagle, but she doesn't see him. And then she does somehow, she like eventually goes and tries to find him or whatever. They find that diary that Adebayo had set behind. I like how it says Wayne right here, Wayne and everything. And he starts to open it. It's got all this weird stuff. I zoomed in on this writing right here, but I couldn't read it because it's cursive and I can read cursive, but it just takes longer, dude. I tell you right now, some people write like my cursive is not good either. It's so sloppy, but yeah, like Z's are weird and shit. Anyways, I found out they don't even teach cursive anymore. And I'm like, well, anyways. So he's like, "What the?" and everything. So they're sitting here and she hears him or sees him. I can't remember. So she goes back there to try to find him. And he's all like, "What were you doing over here?" And he's like, "I thought we'd get drunk or whatever." So I didn't know he Ubered because he's like, "Where's your car?" And he's like, I Ubered. And he's like, "I thought we were going to get drunk." He's like, "What?" And he's like, "I thought we were going to," and then he falls and he lands on his back where Goff is. So then Goff gets free and flies into this detective song, which was a bummer. I knew it was going to happen as soon as she like showed up by herself or whatever behind the trailer. But I was super bummed that she got taken over by the butterflies because I was like, "Oh man." So she gets she's dead now. I don't like that either. He did that with Starro. In the comic books, when Starro landed on your face, you could just peel off the star and you went back to normal. But in the movie, when they stuck to your face, you were pretty much dead because if they peeled it off your face, it took your skin with you, and like they had their tentacles in you and everything. And like the same thing with these things. I don't think there's any way that you could get a butterfly out of you except to die. So then she gets taken over. They see this cop, the dumb cop sees him, and she's all having a seizure kind of thing. And they're going through. Eagly is helping them out and attacking cops and like pulling out their eyes and stuff. I was like, man, that's and Vigilante even says, he's like, man, your Eagly is hardcore. And I'm like, yeah, Eagly is hardcore. He's telling him not to kill people either, also, but he does throw a knife at a cop and everything. Well, and then they're about to get taken down, and Locke shows up and shoots these cops and everything. Like this one gets hit with a knife and he shoots her, and then this one's passed out and he shoots him and everything. And I'm all like, man. So they get into Locke. Locke gives them a car and they drive and everything. And she ends up waking up and she's like, where's Peacemaker? So she goes and everything, and he tries to call him, but then Vigilante throws his phone out of the thing. He's all like, no, they can track it. And he's like, it was a secure phone and everything. And then she's like, what happened? He's like, I don't know, and everything. So she's all alien-fied and everything. He's like, you need to go to the hospital. And she's like, I'm fine, and everything. He gives Locke the diary. I'm sorry this is so fast. I'm sorry. I promise the next one I will get it out on time. I don't want to waste any more of your time than I have to. So they're like, there's a diary, and Adebayo's all like, oh crap, and everything. And so they're sitting here talking. There's some stuff about how you can't say Oriental, you have to say Asian, and how Oriental is now offensive because some people felt like it was meaning like they were other, and everything. And I can't remember everything. It was a good commentary and everything. I'm so sorry I'm going through this fast. I wish it was more colorful, but it's not. So she hooks up her computer to the alien language, and she's in this part. She was all like, she's like, he's like, I can't remember what he says, but she's like, I have a sense that she was very fond of you. And he's like, who? And he's like, Song. And he's like, that you? And she's like, this will just be better for everybody. She's like, just enjoy this moment. It'll be better for everybody. He's like, what are you talking about, kind of thing? And she smiles, and then she's like, it's always hard to figure out how to smile. Each body is different, kind of thing. So I was like, oh, that's nice. So he puts the diary in his desk drawer. So then they find out where the cow is at. It's in this barn right here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very interested to see what the cow looks like, because there's no way it's like an earth cow, right? There's no way it's an earth cow. It has to be some freaky thing. I mean, because James Gunn, I mean, like if you like Slither, you ever seen Slither? He did Slither, right? Yeah, he did Slither. Remember when they go into the barn and that woman's all like huge and all like bloated and everything? She's like, help me and everything. Yeah, it's gonna be something crazy like that. I bet you that'd be so crazy if it was like the woman from Slither, where she's all like, help me. So then they find, and they're like, we need to take this out. We need to take this barn out. And he's all like, look, Eagly and me, which one's Eagly or whatever. I'm like, they say some other stuff here, but I can't remember. So then a song, Queen Bee, is we're gonna call her Queen Butterfly. So she contacted all her other butterflies, and they fly to her in their little mini spaceships. And they get out, and she's like, and they're like, and everything. So then Augie, Daddy Racist, is he goes into his thing and he's gonna go get his suit on, which I'm not gonna lie, listen, even though Augie is a racist and I don't like his character, I do like the actor that plays him though. I am interested in seeing him in the costume / fighting, and I'm totally, Peacemaker's gonna kill him. I know he is, and that's gonna be his like moment kind of thing, like he's getting over everything because his dad is the cause of all his problems. Basically, he really effed his kids up, man, mostly because he made him wear mullets. Ew. Anyways, so she gets all her butterflies, and as soon as this part happened, I was like, I know what's gonna happen now, and I don't like it, but at the same time, I trust James Gunn, because like I've said before, I really like his writing. Most of the time, every now and then he writes a little something in his movies that I'm like, I really didn't like that, but it's fine. But like this, I didn't like that they're going to go and she's going to go take over the cops and everything. And I was like, I don't like it, but I get it. It makes sense for this story and everything. So then, and I did like the song that they played during this, a monster, da da da, a monster, and everything. She drinks that stuff. So he goes into his little room, and all his little minions put his outfit on for him. I'm like, that's weird. Like he's like King Tut and shit. So he sees him, and she comes in with all her butterflies, and they just take over everybody, and everything. And they try to get him out and everything. there's a stupid cop. She deserved to get taken over. She's like crazy dumb. I don't understand how she became a cop. Like she's like crazy dumb. Anyways, so he's running, and of course, one lands in his mouth, and then this guy tries to lock his office, but it's made the doors and it's all made of glass. I'm like, come on, dude. I'm like, you would have lasted you lasted like 2 seconds. Everybody knew that. So they all get taken over. He gets his little KKK minions to put his outfit on. Oh, this is so disturbing, this picture. I do not like it. Whatever. Anyways. And then they also take over the prisoners. I was like, oh, shut up. I didn't expect that to happen. And then they all start to smile. Creep factor. This was very creepy when they all smiled. Like I didn't get a screenshot of it when they're all of them smiling because it creeped me out. I was like, I do not like this, especially this guy right here. He creeped me out the most. I was like, I'm not feeling this like at all. But I think that's what James Gunn wanted to happen. So they put on his costume, which his villain costume looks cool for a villain. But like I said before, I just didn't like the whole thing. So then they're sitting here talking, and her wife is like, she's like, you can get out. You don't have to do this. And she's like, what about, we got too many bills. And she's like, I'll borrow the money from my sister, kind of thing, which I thought was very sweet that they're like, she's like, hey, you don't have to do this kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, you don't have to do this. I get being in debt thing. I totally get it. I'm poor too. It sucks. Being poor sucks. But, she's like, I got to pay the bills. And like, I feel I get where she's coming from. Adebayo is coming from. That's her last name though. Where she's coming from, because she's a sweet lady. I like her a lot. I like her character. She's a good character, and the actress. I love the actress that plays her. I say this every time, but she just recently got married. She looked very pretty. Anyways, so Harcourt is drawing the Dove of Peace onto his one of his guns that she's going to give him. He comes in. He's like, hey, have you seen Adebayo? And she's like, I think she went home. And he's like, is she avoiding me? And he's like, why would she be avoiding you? And she gives him the gun, and she's like, yeah, I drew a Dove of Peace. And he's like, it's wrong. The tails should be to the right and everything. He's like, thank you. That's really sweet of you. And then, what does he say here? It's like important. I can't remember what he says. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me. It's so late. I'm trying to get through this for you guys. So then he sees the piano, and he goes and plays. And then Vigilante comes in. He's like, hey, I thought you said you didn't have a diary. And so Adebayo sees this, and she's like, oh, crap, and everything. She's like, no, they've had the diary and everything. And then he's all like, every police station should, he talks about a massacre, and he's like, every police station in this state or whatever should be on the hunt for Peacemaker, should be looking for Peacemaker. And he's like, oh, fuck. And then that's where the episode ends. Now, like I said before, this was a really good episode. I can't wait to see what happens. Like I said, I think James Gunn is doing a good job. I'm curious to see if he does a season 2 with this. I'm definitely interested in a season 2. I'm not gonna lie. I hope they, bring on other characters from the Suicide Squad. Like I'd love to see Ratcatcher 2 in here, or even Bloodsport, because I mean Idris Elba, he's done TV plenty of times. He's been on that Luther show for the BBC. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. I haven't watched it, but I think he would come back for one of these, or an episode or two, what, I don't know, whatever he wants to do, whatever they want to do. Again, I trust James Gunn because like I said, I feel like me and him, we have like the same kind of humor, and he's just, I think he's a good writer / director. He does a good job. Okay. That's my breakdown and review of this episode. Sorry. It's late and everything. I'll be more on time, I just, all that family stuff, being a dad and a good son and everything gets in my way. All right. Anyways, go ahead and tell me what you guys think about this episode. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. I will see you guys on my next Peacemaker breakdown and review. You guys have a good week. Bye.